Oh, goody.
Alright, what is up everybody? Zombies here again. And today we've got some more Mercenaries PvE content for you. So with this new batch of Mercenaries, they actually have a new requirement for getting their third item. You actually have to beat a specific boss for each of them in Heroic of the new Alterac Valley area. So obviously that's a little bit more challenging than just grinding up your seven mysterious strangers. So I'm going to be doing some videos just showcasing how I went about completing the challenges, and yeah, so make it nice and easy to unlock them. So we're going to start with Ravak Heroic. So this is actually one of the easier, if not the easiest fight, but it is the first one, so we're going in order here, and this does unlock for Sinestra. So this actually unlocks the Shard of Woe item on Sinestra, and I think that could be one of her more powerful abilities. So definitely want to get that. One thing that's important to know about all these heroic unlocks is part of the unlock requirement is having the mercenary on our team. As we can see, I'm still pretty early on in leveling my Sinestra, so she's not really going to be doing a whole lot in terms of the bounties or the boss fight, but she does need to be on the team to get the item from the bounty. So keep that in mind for all of these bounties. Do make sure you have the appropriate mercenary in the team, but I'll always have them in the comp as a reminder. So getting to the actual team here, we're using a basic fire comp. The boss fight for this one is 2 reds and a blue, and they focus on frost damage. So getting through the bounties, it's pretty easy. You just want your standard rag, get in, Antonitis. Equipment wise, we're rocking fire damage on the rag. Baron's fire combo deals more damage and more fireball damage. One thing worth noting is sometimes Antonitis will get targeted down and die on the way up in PvE, or just through the smaller fights. Not the biggest deal in the world if that happens. I do recommend having another fire unit in the back that can be used as a kind of substitute. Here we can see I have Diablo, but you can use really any fire unit. You could use Alexstrasza. You could honestly maybe even use Tavish if you really want to do it with a more budget build, just as long as you have a extra unit that can combo with Baron Geddon other than Rag and Antonitis, in case Antonitis or someone gets sniped down early on. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And then we also have Cookie here with his appetizers. Just gives us a little bit of insurance to help our characters survive some of those fights leading up to the boss, so that we have them by the time we're at the boss. But overall, this section is one of the easier ones in Heroic from what I've seen, so it shouldn't be too bad. One important thing to note, and I'll show this in the footage when we get to the fight, because I actually forgot to do it the first time, is you do actually want to switch your item once you get to the boss. So you run with the fire damage for clearing up to the boss, and then once you get to the boss, you want to put on Sulfurous, as the boss is all about freezing, so it really, really trivializes the fight. I mean, you can win without it. It's still not super hard for this one, but if you want to make it really easy on yourself, that's the way to do it. Plus, the extra health isn't bad. So we're going to run through the bounty here. I'm going to have it sped up because it's generally pretty straightforward and simple. And then we're going to go over the fight. So if you enjoyed this type of content, do remember to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more of it. And let's check out this bounty. Alright, so we're going to speed through the regular fights here as usual. Again, they're very, very simple for the most part. Basically, just have a triple fire comp here. You'll actually see, I believe, I don't know if it was in this run or the next one. One of these runs here, I actually had Antonitis die during the run, but no big deal. You can actually just substitute him with any other fire from the backline. Oh yeah, it's right there. Antonitis died. I think we got a revive, so it was fine. But even if he does die, just bring a fire unit in the back. You know, I brought Diablo, but you can bring Alex, you can bring Davish, any other fire unit is good just to have a backup. But fire comp just speeds through this bounty. It's super easy. You just have to, you know, make sure your Rag and Geddon are alive at the end. But again, so far, every time I've done it, it has not been an issue having them survive. It's usually Antonidas who gets picked off, if anybody, and we really don't need him to do the boss fight. Like, he's cool to have, but definitely not required. No luck on Stranger there. One off the boss fight, though, so just about there. And this boss fight's actually really easy. I actually forget in the first fight here, I forget to switch my Rag equipment, like I told you about in the beginning. So after this first fight, I will have another clip of me doing it with the right equipment, as it just makes the fight even easier. But this one is just to show you that you do not need to have the equipment on Ragnaros to make this fight really easy. As long as you have some good blue AoE, it's just a very simple fight. Again, they'll probably pick off one of your guys like Antonidas, but that's why we bring that extra fire unit for the back. And their damage is all centered around frost stuff, so that's why we would normally bring the Ragnaros equipment, because it just absolutely neuters their abilities. In some cases, like one of them has the Varden Freeze, and it just turns that off completely. So it's a pretty simple fight. Here we can see, because I don't have the equipment, I do get frozen, and because of that, I think Antonidas does die here. Yep. But it's not really a big issue, because now we can just throw in our substitute off the bench, which is why we bring at least one more fire unit. You could bring two if you want to be safe. I opted to go for the extra cookies HP, but if you wanted to be extra safe with it, you could end up bringing two. But now they have a big board, so we're just going to go with our trusty Fire Stomp on Diablo. They actually make their board even bigger, which is kind of funny. The Soul Stone's also nice on Diablo. It keeps him alive as stuff is dying. I actually used Diablo to clear through on my second run through this, so boom, boss is done. Really simple, really easy. Didn't even put on the right equipment, and it was still not a problem. So if you don't have the Sulfurous equipment unlocked, it's no big deal. You can still beat this fight without it. But if you want to make it very easy, I do recommend equipping that when you get to the final fight. Here we can see, got our coin rewards. I unfortunately don't get lucky. No new coins for me from that round. But more importantly, we get our equipment, the Shard of Woe, third equipment, and I'm really looking forward to trying out Sinestra. Like I said before, we do have some more footage here of me doing the fight again with the right equipment, because I did want to show what that looks like. But still, you know, we saw in the first fight, it's not that hard of a fight. They really don't deal that much damage. So it's not too difficult. They do have, you know, a fair amount of health. We just deal so much damage with our AoEs. Definitely want some fire damaging passives if you happen to get them offered as an option, or the instant cooldown on Diablo. As you can see, I actually led here with Diablo and had fire skills available from turn 1 from one of his treasures, so that was a kind of nice ability. And we see they go for the freeze here. Freeze doesn't work. And it's funny, next turn they're actually going to go for a Varden freeze and get it off, and it does nothing. So it's pretty funny. But it really just shows how much the equipment really trivializes this fight. It's not a very hard fight to begin with, but this makes it even easier. Some of the other ones do get pretty tricky, though. The next one we're actually going to cover is fairly tricky. So keep an eye out for that, you know, a couple hours later from today. And then we'll have 2 more tomorrow, and hopefully 2 more on Friday, covering all the new Alterac bounties. But as we can see, boss was really easy to deal with, wasn't too bad. Overall, this is super simple bounty, but definitely worth doing on the heroic for the Sinestra equipment. But that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy it, do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep your eyes out for more of these heroic bounties soon. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.